All right. I can see myself, and I have no idea if you can hear me. Can you hear me? I see that Bryce is here, and welcome everyone to the very first live thing. This should be the worst possible video, so bear with me. If you can hear me, please give me a thumbs up in the chat room. Um, uh, all the things are all the monitors are going, but it's a one man band. I'm flying this plane, plus I'm trying to make it land. So it's going to be fun. I'm not going to be able to type back replies, so just to keep that in mind. This live show has been highly requested, and I am so grateful for all that are here, all the scouters that are here, and scouts. We might have some youth, so please keep in mind that your all of your comments should stay within the Google YouTube guidelines, and make sure that it is also scout appropriate. So keep that in mind. I will be looking over this way occasionally to monitor all the chat room and all that stuff. So, but thank you for the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. I see a lot of people are gathering. That's really cool. And I just want to welcome everybody. This has been a long time coming, and 7 seasons just started this season. It is a lot of fun. So, but let me go ahead and open up the screen a little bit here. I believe, hopefully, I don't click the wrong button. That would not be good. So there we go. Hey, I'm a little bigger. I want to talk a little bit about the beginning of this season, the first 4 episodes. The first 3 have already aired. The fourth one is coming up this week. I believe it's the very first one we had for season 7 was about Sea Scouts. Do we have any Sea Scouts in the room? Put a thumbs up if you got a Sea Scout in there. So, Sea Scouts are awesome. When I did the research on that, I just kept digging and digging and digging. There's so much to that. So if you would like more information about Sea Scouts, look at the links that are in the video. But also keep in mind that there's tons more out there on the internet. When I research these things, it takes up a lot of time. So I have to go through that entire process of getting that together, and it is amazing. And I was trying to make it like a basic video so that you understood that the skipper is like the scoutmaster, and they have a first mate and so on. And I mean, the structure of it is very similar to what we're familiar in a troop or even a crew. Crews are very similar to a ship. So that was the really wild thing, and just to find out more information about that was awesome. So if you haven't had a chance, definitely check out the video that I did on Sea Scouts. That's an excellent episode, and it has a lot of information in there. Also, right after that, I believe it was the very following week, we had the Brotherhood letter. I was absolutely dumbfounded when I found out that the reason that a lot of ordeal candidates don't go through Brotherhood is because they don't want to write a letter. I can't imagine that they would put that aside because they're afraid of writing a letter. The letter is very simple. And, really, Brotherhood is the next step. Those that are in the OA, I know there's a few OA brothers here. In the OA, it is very common for ordeal members just to be ordeal for a very long time, and they roll away because they, school or whatever, career, all that kind of stuff, and then they come rolling back when their kids are ready for scouts. So they get into it as an ordeal member, which is fine. They're a member, but they need to do that next step and become a brother. That's the new sash with the the little bars on it and all that. That's the neat thing. And writing a letter, scouts are friendly. When you go to that training and you don't have to do your ordeal again, that's the thing. Once you've done ordeal, you're done with that phase of it. It's what you learned at ordeal that they cover in brotherhood. They talk about all of the symbolism and everything that's going on there and how to make that meaningful for brotherhood. That's the core thing there, and that letter is one thing that scares a lot of people away. So I wanted to make sure that there was a video addressing that. Now, I've done some videos on the order there. I do not go into great detail because I want to honor the tradition. We need to keep a little bit of that mystery going there. The reason for that is so that it's special. You don't want me to tell you what you're getting for Christmas. So, that makes sense. You want to make sure that you get that nice surprise. It's not all there, that done away with the surprise. At least they call it spoilers, I think. If you've probably listened to a recent podcast that I did with Dave. Dave does an Eagle Scout podcast, and I put a note in the community about it. I did the interview, and it totally slipped my mind because of season 7 coming up and all the research and everything going on with that. And I put a note in there saying that it's available and you can listen to it. It gives you a little more about my background. So that I have these phrases that I say, and I don't want to give you anything like a spoiler. Okay, we don't want spoilers out there. And if you're a Doctor Who fan, you probably know what I mean. Yeah, you don't want spoilers. But that was the Brotherhood letter that's going on. That was the second episode of our season. The very next one was on Roundtable. Now, I want everybody to take that test, that 10-point test. If you took the test, give me a thumbs up. I like to see them on the screen. But that test, it is one of those things that is very enlightening, okay? Because all of the information that's in that test are handled at most roundtables. If your roundtable's done right, you will actually be able to answer all of those questions. You'll be able to give yourself 10 points for every single question. So definitely look at that video, and it drives the message home. Those that don't go to Roundtable would not do well with that test. Okay, they would have a problem. So, but definitely ask people within your unit about going to Roundtable. That's one of the big things that I want to encourage everyone to be going to their own roundtable in their own community, and it's critical that that goes on. There was some messages back, I believe, on that particular video about how their roundtable is not working correctly. It's not giving out the information you need. There's two ways of doing that. You can keep doing what you're doing, or you can get involved. So get into that roundtable and start telling them, hey, you need these 10 things, you need these 10 items and more to really go into roundtable and fix that problem and make it more meaningful. Because every leader, this is the continuation of that training that you do online and that you do in live situations. You want to make sure that you go to Roundtable. Roundtable's got so much to offer, and you want to make sure that you take advantage of that. So many leaders hold it close to the vest. They don't want to tell anybody. Come on. That's not the way to do it. We need to more information. Be friendly, courteous, and kind, and go out there with all that information and make sure that's done. The next episode hasn't happened yet. It's been filmed and edited and posted, but it's sitting on that timer, waiting to go off this week. And it's Is Scouts Going Political? Now, this is something that I've been asked about quite a bit. And this is one of those things that a lot of people don't like to really talk about. And the reason that they're kind of cautious about it is because it's political positions are not part of scouting. Scouting is about scout oath, scout law. That's really our core value. And that's nonpartisan. That is apolitical. Okay, it doesn't have any affiliation to any particular party, regardless. And but we teach citizenship. We wave the flag. We have the flag on our uniform. There's things that we do for citizenship, and we want to train our youth and adults. They need to look into a lot of this stuff and help the youth learn more about their citizenship. And we use the citizenship merit badges to do a lot of that. And we want to keep that as nonpartisan. You know, we don't want any political favoritism in any direction. That has to be apolitical, where it's just the facts. Okay. If you give people the facts, they can come to their own conclusions. That's up to them. That's the key to being not political. Scouting is not going political. The media would have you think otherwise. Friends might have told you that, but it is not permitted in scouting. So you gotta mix the two. You have the citizenship on one hand, where it's just the facts, it's just the flag, and it's just the Pledge of Allegiance and those kinds of things, and then the other political point of views they're not allowed. So they are not part of the plan as far as teaching young people to be responsible, good citizens of America. So that's really what this whole thing about being political doesn't apply to scouting. Everybody's got their point of view, and that's totally fine. Staying within being courteous and kind and doing those kinds of things, that kind of follows through for when you go on the internet. There's a lot of people out there that are mean to each other. They say terrible things online. These what do they call them, trolls or something like that? They go out there and they say mean things just to get a reaction, just to make everybody upset. So don't be participating in that. That's not scout like. You need to be more friendly, courteous, and kind. Okay. Now, YouTube, being associated with Google, has tremendous filters out there. Okay. So, and being a creator, they give us a lot of authority. Okay. So you want to make sure that you stay within the scout law and scout oath. You want to make sure that you're thinking about that. And that's just good citizenship. That's good behavior across the board. If more people act like scouts with the scout oath and scout law as their driving guide, we wouldn't have these problems. There would be a lot better society going on. That's one of the things that we need to think about when we're dealing with youth. We need to drive that fact home as far as the scout oath and the scout law. The three parts in the scout, the three promises we make, and the 12 points of the scout law. If you were to use that, that's awesome. You will actually get more benefit from it than you could ever imagine. A lot of times when I was in the working world and hiring people, I actually had the scout law, all the keywords on the wall behind the candidate. So I would be sitting there asking those questions because I want somebody that's loyal. I want somebody that's trustworthy. I want people to live by that scout law, whether they've been a scout or not. So that's one of those things, and I think I mentioned that in another video. Actually, putting the scout law in action. These are things that you can easily look up on the channel. There's tons of videos out there. Now, I know I don't want to go too long, but I want to quickly look through. If you want to wave hi or something on the chat, I believe we're in a live chat. Yeah, there we go. I've got Mikey. Mikey's here. I got Dean. Dean's got a joke, I'm sure. Dean has got a joke, that's for sure. Oh my gosh. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for joining me here. AJ was the first one up. He was the first one to really get moving in there. I did get a comment, an email actually, about Pirate Puddle Pirate Pete. He was at the very first episode. That's this is all that remains of Pirate Pete. This is it. Oh wait a minute, he's got his eye patch on the back. So so you get that. But yeah, that's Puddle Pirate Pete. So looks like we got a few more people saying hello, which is great. That's awesome. The software that I'm using, I am not really familiar with a lot of its features. I don't know. There was supposed to be the Fargo music at the very beginning, which is our theme. It's a theme put out there by YouTube. So I didn't know if that was playing. The meters were going, but I didn't hear it. So hopefully this is all going to go into the cloud, and then we're going to put it together, cut off any waiting times on the ends, and then go, of course, put it out there for people that this is just too late at night for them. Mark over in England, it's like 1 in the morning over there. I'm sure he's not up in the middle of the night watching something like this. But it's a wonderful to see everybody here. And David is here. We got Bryce. And golly, got so many people. Austin, just there you go. Getting ready for Eagle. Eagle is huge, isn't it? It's hard. It's not easy. It's hard. There you go. Eagle is awesome. When you become an Eagle Scout, you are really setting yourself aside. Now, a lot of people say the 6%, but you have to think about it in several ways. You only when they're talking 6%, they're talking of the scouts that are in scouting. There's a lot of people who never join scouting. There's a lot of youth that never get involved, and because of that, they will never be an Eagle Scout. So you have to, if you factor that in, it's less than 1% population-wise. That is something to think about. Eagles are expected to act like a scout the rest of their lives. To live by that scout oath and scout law. That's the thing about an Eagle Scout. I am working on a project with Eagle Scouts. Keeping that in mind, it's actually for Life Scouts that are going for that. I had a series of videos that I did for adults to become mentors. That goes over that whole process of becoming an Eagle. It is involved. So, and if you're an Eagle Scout, you know what I mean. It is an involved process, and I have mentored quite a few Life Scouts to Eagle, and because of that I was able to develop that program. What I'd like to do is something, I have an alternate channel that I'd like to put together and actually have like a daily thing, like a short every day, reminding the scout to do certain things, like call their merit badge counselor today, that kind of thing, and just do a scheduled mentoring online, because we have a shortage of people getting involved in mentoring. So I'm going to catch up with some of the comments here. Wow. Oh my gosh. I'm not going to read your joke because I'll laugh. I'm not going to. Austin, very good. Wow, this is neat. I can see why when I'm on other people's live chats that they have somebody reading the comments and making it known to the person because I've got like so many things going. Being a one-man band, I'm concerned about timing and levels and making sure that everything is working. That is kind of stressful. See, when I videotape these episodes that go on in our community, uh, honestly, it's just me and the camera, which I think of as you. Okay, you're the camera, and we have a conversation, and that's kind of what always want to do. I always want to have that conversation with you, and that's one of the wonderful things I want to keep going. For so many seasons, I didn't do a live show. And that was one of the reasons. Because if you look at my outtakes, and they're out there, there are a great amount of times when I have to go back over that script and do parts of that video again, and do all the clipping and editing, all of it. I do the descriptions, the titles, all of it. So, that's one of the wonderful things. And it would be neat to have somebody to work with the comments. That would be great because I see them, but I don't have time to read them and think about an answer. But if somebody else was to look at that and see that, then I could actually respond live. But that being the case, we're gonna put it all together and hopefully have a good conversation eventually, and be able to get all of it working correctly. Your live looks great on my phone stand. Sure. Yes, I am alive. And this thing's going off on the system here. And okay, well, that's wonderful. Austin, thank you, and congratulations on your eagle. It is a lifetime commitment. So, and I know you'll do well. And anybody else that's tuning in that's a life scout going for eagle, keep up the good work. I mean, that is critical. We need you. We really, really need you. America needs you, and scouting needs you too. So if you're a younger life scout, okay, say 15, okay, and you're going for eagle, get that done. Don't wait. Go ahead and get it done. Once you do that, you need to pay back that time to your troop. You need to join on as a junior assistant scoutmaster if you're not that already, or that's something that you need to think about and get that service back to your unit, the unit that helped you get to where you are. You need to help others do the same. So that's a big deal. So you want to keep that in mind. So wow, I see so many different comments. Thank you so much. Congratulations, Austin. Yes, yes. All right, Michael. Thank you. You're a Star Scout, Mikey. Star Scout. Your icon's going to change. Hey, you know what else is cool? Because we did the live stuff, there's all these other things on here. There's I don't know if it's accessible or not, but it's like there's different little logos and stuff. If you want to be a member of the channel, you can actually get these things in and use them in the live chat. That's kind of cool. And I think there's a heart with a fleur de lis on it. I love scouting kind of thing, and that's in there as a emoticon or an emoji. I think that's what they called it. So, but that's in there. I don't know if it's accessible. You might be able to hit I believe it's in Windows. I think it's the Windows key and the period. If you hit that, you get a little box of icons, and that might be in there. So check that out. That's something that's online that we set up on the channel. We also set up the stores on there, and we have some new shirts that we just put out. I'm working with my son, who's a graphic artist, and he's going to be doing kind of like a Far Side kind of funny logo thing for the shirts. And I wrote some quotes from Cub Scouting, which are very funny. So I'm going to be putting that together, and we're going to have some more T-shirts out there, so you can enjoy those and show them that you're a ScouterStan channel supporter, and that's a very good thing. But back on the Life Scout, Star Scout, you're going to have to change your logo, I guess, huh? You working on? He's working on it. He's desperately typing very fast. Life is one of those things. If you miss out on your opportunity to get Eagle, you end up being life for life. There is after that 18th birthday, they're just birthdays after that. So, that's no pressure. So yeah, definitely get it done. If you're one of the youth that are under 18, welcome to Scouter Stan's channel. You know what? This channel is amazing. It was originally set up, and its real intent is for the adult leaders. So, but adult leaders, keep in mind, youth watch these videos. I can't believe it either. You know, so it's amazing how many youth actually watch these videos. Now, now adults, okay. Now the kids that are watching this, if you're under 18, I'd call you kids. You're not. You're scouts. The scouts that are watching this, put your fingers in your ear. I'm going to talk to the adults. Okay. Now that they're going la 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 la, I'll tell you what. You know what? They watch these videos. So you better watch yourself if you're if you're not doing these things in your troop, in your unit. They're gonna call you on it. They're gonna, hey, Scouter Stan said this, and then you're gonna write me a nasty note. All right. Well, I'm just goofing off, but yeah, la la la. You did good. All right. You can take your fingers out of your ears. But youth, they like these videos. When I go to events and stuff, and I go out to these um, camping and stuff at Camp Lenoche. I live in Central Florida, so we have this big camp. And I'll go there, and they'll go, "Hey, Scouter Stan!" They get all excited. They watch these videos. Weird, just weird. There we go. They do. Rashi, you are absolutely right. They pay attention. They see these things. They do. They do. And if you're not doing patrol method, that's one of their big ones. They love watching that one because they want to call the scoutmaster out and say, "Hey, you're taking over the meeting. You can't do that." Patrol method. That's huge. We have to do scouting, and scouting done right helps the youth grow into great leaders. We know that. So definitely they are paying attention. Well, I think we are almost out of time. So if you have a question that I can read up on the screen, I'll definitely answer it. Oh, Philmont. Awesome. Next June. Ooh, got it. You got it good. Philmont is one of those experiences. If you've been to Philmont, put a thumbs up because Philmont, and I guarantee everybody that's been to Philmont, they'll tell you this, right? It's life changing. It's beautiful out there. Absolutely do it. If you get a chance, go out there. If you can't afford your local contingent, think about the OA High Adventure. There's a video on that. There's always a video. But I'll tell you what, go see that video. That'll help you with some of the cost. So definitely think about it. Going with a contingent is awesome because you're going with people in your area. So, and that's really good. So when you're doing that adventure, you can relate. When you come back from Philmont, you could say, "Hey, let's meet up at a restaurant and talk about Philmont." And that's great. That's a wonderful thing. Kind of like these mini reunions. Okay, you could do that. But if you can't afford that kind of trip, you could definitely do the OA thing. So Philmont is awesome. You got to do Philmont. All of the high adventures. I've been to every one of them. Okay, as a youth. The only one I didn't get to go to, and this is the weirdest thing, I've been to all of them that were considered high adventure at the time. The one up in the canoe base was not high adventure. It was called the canoe base. So I went there when it was a canoe base, but it's now high adventure. They didn't own sea base at the time when I was a youth. So it wasn't there the entire time I was a youth. So that's a new one. Summit, same thing. But I've been to that. I've been there many times. I was there before the summit existed. Okay. So I've been there. But you got to do these fun things. They got the Jamboree coming up next year if you're in the contingent. That's one of the big things. There you go. I'm catching up on some of the messages here. Okay. Adventuring high base. I tell you what, that OA thing is awesome. Philmont's got it. Summit's got it. I believe the canoe base, the Northern Tier, I think it's called. They've got it. Of course, they have it down in the sea base. These are places that are tremendous, but my personal preference is Philmont. That would be number one on my list. The other ones are number two. All three of those, they're number twos. Okay, they are compared to Philmont. Philmont is awesome. Definitely do Philmont. We got a lot of people. Nowak. I would love to go to Nowak next year, and the reason I would like to go, I've been to two. The very first one that I ever attended was in 2012. I was at the one in Michigan, and I was the contingent leader for our council, and that was great. I enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. There was a lot of, I think there's videos on that. They might be on this channel. You could look. Then there was the 2015, okay, which was the 100th anniversary. That was super cool. Everybody that went to that NOAC got a red sash, the red and white sash. It was just that was awesome. To be at the 100th NOAC or OA, 100th OA NOAC was just phenomenal. Okay, and we got put in the best possible spot. I was assistant helper on that one, so that was I did it once and I had to help somebody else with it. So it was fun. It was fun. We had a great time. NOAC is awesome. I've heard stories already from the current NOAC that was last week or 2 weeks ago. So I've already heard stories about that. Ah, yes. My first national jamboree was in 1977. It was at Moraine State Park in Pennsylvania. And I was with the Mass Bay Federated Council. Our contingent was out on the peninsula that I believe on the third day decided to sink about 3 feet into the lake, and the whole thing kind of separated off. So we were evacuated. It rained a lot. So that was that was quite the experience. That's the funny thing is that scouts always remember things like that. It rained. It was this happened, that happened. It's the perfect campouts that we all strive for. We never get, but we all strive for that perfect campout. Don't. Don't. They won't remember it. It'll just go right over them. So have fun in scouting. Do adventures and stuff. First National Jamboree. Oh, what was the first National Jamboree? The very first one was on the 25th anniversary. It was scheduled for 19, I want to say 1913, but it's not right. No, it's the 25th anniversary. So it was 35. 1935 was going to be the 25th anniversary. Unfortunately, the week that everybody was traveling to Washington D.C., they canceled it. There was an outbreak of polio, I believe, and they canceled it. So they had to send everybody home. That was a it was they canceled the first jamboree. So until 37, 37 was the actually the very first one, and it was held in Washington D.C. It was actually on that the grassy area between the Capitol and the Washington Monument. It was right in that grassy area. The I think it was the I was reading some history about that. They brought tents, but the scouts didn't have to put them up because the Army Corps of Engineers had already put up all the tents. It was weird. So it was pretty wild. But the thing is that everybody that had registered for the 35 that got canceled, they got the red and the white, or excuse me, the red and the blue neckerchiefs. That was a settlement for canceling. So they sent those anyways to everybody that was going to the 35. So you'll see those sets out there. And they did the same red and blue for the 37. In fact, on that patch, you'll see the Washington Monument, and the Capitol is on the 35. So kind of neat. And that's the neat thing about a lot of the history of scouting is absolutely amazing. Video 510 Jambo. Woo, Jambo out there on AP Hill. AP Hill is awesome. I believe I've been to the one in 2000, had to be 2003 or 4. I have to look that one up, but I believe I've visited that one. That was before they moved it to the summit. So they had several at AP Hill. I believe the one at AP Hill, they also had the 1964 Jamboree there. I'm doing this completely from memory. You know, when I do the videos, I have a script. This is from memory. So keep that in mind. Oh my gosh. Yeah, AP Hill is awesome. The summit is one of the best place. It's designed for jamborees, world jamborees. So it's got plenty of room. It's got zip lines and fishing and whitewater and climbing and skateboard places and mountain bike, and it is basically it is a campsite on steroids. It is beefed up. I mean, it's got everything you can imagine. I believe they're even building a hotel there. I'm not. I think I read that somewhere where they were building a facility where they're going to do training and just it's amazing, amazing. And believe me, when John Denver sang the song "Almost Heaven," West Virginia, they are not kidding. He wasn't kidding. It is gorgeous up there. Those mountains are just beautiful, beautiful. So if you've been to West Virginia, you know, or if you're in West Virginia. What's the favorite video that I've done? Oh my gosh. They're all my favorite. Oh, my favorite video. Goodness. I'll have to give that some thought. Do I have a favorite video? You know, I refer a lot of people back to an old one. I mean, it's old. It's like from, I think, second season. But it's the backstage, yeah, scout facing and backstage video. I refer a lot of people to that because they want to know how they can get involved in a troop or a crew or a ship. And I'm like, you just watch that video. And when they start talking about backstage versus scout facing, so, you know, the two different things, that is a critical video. I might expand that video. That's a good one. But my favorite, you know, one of my favorites was the uniform one. That took almost a year to research. That was a big one. That was a big project. was the uniform from the very beginnings of the uniform, which were basically World War II uniforms with scout buttons. That was the first thing that the supply division actually made was buttons, big metal buttons with the logo. So, and then there's two different kinds of buttons, and oh my gosh, you can go on forever about the uniform and all the different things. One more question. Let's see, national championship. I do, David, I do need to get. I yes, he is a great guy. So David, you're absolutely right. David Young is my best friend who does a podcast, and if you get a chance, you need to go and listen to some of the podcasts. You don't have to listen to with Icky Me in it. All right, you can listen to any of them. I think he's got a total of 12 of them now, and listen to them. They're really good. They're long. They're about an hour, but there's always a time in your day where you can listen to something and be doing a chore or something. So listening can be not necessarily passive. You could actually be a very active listening if you're doing something that could be done by rote. So if you're doing laundry or you're cleaning the car or something like that, you could listen to his shows. Definitely worth the time. And it's also worth the time just to sit back and enjoy the shows. He gets to interview some of the best people in scouting around. That is a wonderful thing. That's for sure. So I got one more down here. I want to see these huge things, David. Don't be modest. Episode is great. Yeah, I actually listened to it. I'm like, I'm cringing, okay? You got me at a good moment. I told you so much stuff about my growing up and my history. So that's always fun. That's always a good thing. Well, I think wow, we have flown through the times over 40 minutes. Did anyone hear the music at the beginning of this thing? It's the theme that I use on the show. Did anyone? I don't think it actually did anything. See, I'm not hearing. Normally, when I do radio or something, I can hear it. And I'm doing interviews or something, I can hear what's going on, even the commercial breaks and stuff. So that's something I'm a little worried about that not happening. But I want to thank everybody for jumping in and enjoying this. I know it's late on the East Coast, but I think this is a great way to start the week. We are coming up on a good week. We're going to have that episode about the is scouting going political. Uh, um, let's see, what's the other things that are coming? Oh, there's so many other things. Law enforcement. There's law enforcement explorers. I'm going to do an episode on that. That's coming up. I think we're filming that pretty soon. We also have tips and advice for scoutmasters when they first get started. When they first get into a troop. I even expand that to cub masters too when they get into a pack. So definitely look for that one. That one's coming up. We're also going to be doing is scouting going co-ed. We've always had girls involved in scouting. In explorers, they've been in since the 70s. So we've always had that going on. Now we have girl troops and boy troops, which is great. We have crews, which are kind of the co-ed thing. They have girls and boys involved. The crew can decide to be all boys or all girls. So that's something a crew can decide. They have to work that out. See, here I'm going off. I'm giving you all the stuff. So that's something that's coming up. But I tell you what, co-ed is a big subject, and I want to cover some of that and get that going on there. What's a quartermaster position in a troop? What do they do? These are things that are coming up, so be definitely looking forward. Make a note if you can. I plan to do these live things every the first Sunday of each month at 9 o'clock Eastern time. And that way, people in Chicago and LA and Vegas and all those different places, they could see it at a normal hour. They're not staying up super late or tuning in before they even get out of work. So that's one of the things that we have to think about. We have to think about others. And like always, this is a passion thing that I do, and I do it for you. I want to make sure that you know that I really super appreciate everything you do in scouting. And I see the comments coming in and they're long, and I just can't answer them or even read them. The screen is shiny, and I'm wearing glasses, and I got the lights, and it's really hard to see. But I want to tell you that I really appreciate everything you do in scouting. We are doing this for America's youth. We need to do this. Without us doing our best at helping scouts achieve and learn and become incredible leaders. I know so many youth that have taken on community roles that are just fascinating. They just, I'm dumbfounded by it. And it's so important that we just keep that good work going forward and helping America's youth and getting this whole thing going forward. I've got tons of this stuff. If you think of a video you want to see, write it down, send it to me, put it in the comments, put it in this video, wherever you want. But I really appreciate all of your input too and your comments. If you see a comment that I've not been able to get to yet, you can answer some of the questions. That's the thing about scouting. We're all the authorities, so we can put our own stuff in there too. Definitely do that. Participate in our community. We have such a great community, as you can see. We have so many different people that are tuning in. David's here. David said it was. Thanks, Todd. I really need somebody to be reading these things and saying, "Hey, Stan, this guy said this." So, that's something we were going to work on. But definitely write that down. Make sure that you see our live shows every first Sunday at 9 o'clock Eastern time. We will do this type of question and answer, and I will definitely get into this. But I'm planning on, once this goes into record mode, once it's recorded, then we can do that. So, well, I have been blabbering on for 52 minutes, so and I am so thankful for all that you do in scouting. Please keep up the hard work, and like always, I will definitely see you on the trail. So I've got a little closer thing here, but I want to thank you so much. Thank you.